Welcome to iSpeakMath online video tutorial, where we provide you with modern-day strategies and techniques in languages that you can understand, both literally and figuratively. Today we're going to focus on multiplying double-digit numbers, so please make sure to grab a pencil and paper so we can go ahead and get started. So the goal is to multiply two-digit numbers by using standard algorithm and partial product. Standard algorithm is the more traditional route when multiplying multi-digit numbers, especially double-digit numbers. So please be sure to use this as an opportunity to practice and refine your skills. And partial product is a relatively new method of multiplying. It's very, basic in terms of using place values as a way to, get the answer. So stay tuned on how to use those two strategies, and we're going to have some practice sessions so that we can master it. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to multiply using standard algorithm. We are going to do 24 times 13. So I'm going to go ahead and write that down. 24 times 13. All right, very important, very similar to what we do when we're adding multi-digit numbers. We are going to start on our right side when we're multiplying multi-digit numbers, in this case, double-digit numbers. So since we're starting on our right, it's very, very important that we keep in mind that we are going to go at the bottom. So here we have the number 3 that's located at the bottom. We're going to use that number, multiply at each number at the top. So that means we're going to multiply the 4 first, and then we're going to multiply the 2, okay? So let's go ahead and get started. 3 times 4 equals 12. So we're going to put our 2 below here. We're not going to write the actual number 12 below because remember, we can only put one number at the bottom. We're going to have to take that 1 and we're going to have to put it on top of the 2. And remember, multiplication is repeated addition, so we are adding this out, okay? So now we have 12, but we put our 2 at the bottom and we put our 1 at the top. So next we're going to do 3 times 2, and 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1, which gives us 7, and we're going to go ahead and write 7. All right, so you should look like this. This should all be flowing. Very important because this is a common mistake I get from a number of students. They always assume since we're moving on to the next one, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to put our numbers right below the 2. Very important. Once we go over to our next place value, which is tens, we're not putting our answer down in the ones place. That ones place will no longer be valid. We're going to have to put a 0, which is like a placeholder, we like to call it. But that 0 makes us understand that, hey, when we're starting to multiply, we're going to put our answer in the tens place. So because 1 is in the tens place, whatever our first answer is, by multiplying 1 with 4, we're going to put that answer below the 7. So 1 times 4 equals 4, okay? And then 1 times 2 equals 2. And just like that, we are done. We're going to go ahead and add, because remember, multiplication is repeated addition. All right, I hate to sound like a broken record, but sometimes that's how we are able to retain or remember these little, information that helps us to multiply. So now, just like I said, when we're adding multi-digit numbers, we're always going to start on our right-hand side. So 2 plus 0 equals 2. 7 plus 4 equals 11. We're going to put our 1 down here. We're going to put our other 1 at the top, and then 1 plus 2 equals 3. And just like that, our final answer is 312. All right, 312. All right. All right, what's better than one practice? Two practices. So let's go ahead and do another recap of the standard algorithm, but this time we're doing 67 times 24. So I'm going to write that down in my workspace area. 67 times 24. All right. And remember, we are starting on our right-hand side, and we're going to focus at the number that's located at the bottom, which is number 4. Very good. So then we can go ahead and multiply. So 4 times 7 equals 28. We're going to put our 8 below the 4 because remember 4 is in the ones place. 8 will be in our ones place. That's how we get started when we're adding or putting numbers down after we're multiplying. And then we're going to go ahead and put that 2 on top of the 6. And remember, I put the little plus sign to help me to remember that we're adding it, okay? So then now we're doing 4 times 6. 4 times 6 is 24, okay? 24 plus 2 is 26. All right. Now we are done. Sometimes, and I know for the first practice I didn't show you guys this, but sometimes I tell those kids, you can always erase it, cross it out, so then that way you're not, getting confused. And then you can go ahead and say, now it's time to move on to the next number. It's up to you. Everyone has their own way of, performing better while they're multiplying. So whatever can help you to make sure you're not skipping a beat while you're multiplying each step, by all means do it. Now, if you guys remember, the 2 is located in the tens place, okay? So if we were to put our answer here after we started multiplying 2 times 7, that would be incorrect. So most people would like to put a 0, some, leave it blank, or some even put an X. So I'm going to go ahead and put my 0 down, okay? So that forces me to multiply and then put my answer directly under the 6, which consequently is direct under the 2 that we're going to multiply. But just remember, if we're moving on to the tens place, your answer goes into that tens place column to start off with. So 2 times 7 is 14. So 2 times 7, sorry, is 14. We're going to put our 4 below the 6. We're going to go ahead and put our 1 on top of the 6, okay? So you see how this can be very beneficial or helpful for you if you crisscross the 2 or if you erase it and then now you're putting another number on top of the 6, then you know that, hey, I'm adding it to the 1 and not the 2. So just a little, thing, for you to ponder with. So now we're doing 2 times 6. 2 times 6 is 12 plus 1 is 13. So I'm going to go ahead and write 13. And now we are all set to add, right? Because remember, multiplication is repeated addition. So then I'm doing 8 plus 0, which equals 8. 6 plus 4, which equals 10. And then I put the 1 on top, okay? 1 plus 2 equals 3. 3 plus 3 equals 6. And then 1 plus nothing equals 1, okay? And then we have our final answer, which is 1,608. All right, very good. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and move on to our next strategy. All right, with partial product, it's all about being aware of the numbers and the place values that those numbers fall into. And by making sure you build that memory and build that awareness, I kid you not, this partial product will be the very friendly tool for helping you to multiply numbers that are multi-digit, but in this case, double digit. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite the problem 24 times 13. And if you guys keep in mind, 24 times 13 was our first number that we did with standard algorithm. I chose this so that you guys can understand how you'll get the same answer, which is the right answer, but using a different strategy. God, I love math. So now I'm going to go ahead and do 24 times 13. All right. So keep in mind, this column here, 4 and 3, are located in the ones place. Okay. And then this area here, 2 and 1, is the tens place. Okay. So ones place is 4 and 3, tens place is 2 and 1. All right, we always keep on starting with the right. It's nothing different here in the partial product. We're going to take our 3, and because we have two numbers at the top, which is the 4 and 2, I'm going to write 3 twice. Okay, 1 and 2. Now 3 times 4, okay, because remember 4 is in the ones place, all right? We're going to put that there. And then 3 times 2, but is that really a 2 if it's in a tens place? No, it's actually 20. If you isolate 2 and you just focus on its place value, it's actually 20, okay? And so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and multiply 3 times 4 equals 12, okay? And 3 times 20 equals. Now, those of you who are very good at counting by 20s, by all means, way to go. But I'm going to tell you something, not me. I am going to go ahead and crisscross this 0 and put it over here. And I'm just going to say, well, now that I cross out the 0, what's 3 times 2? That's much better. That is 6, okay? And I just put my 6 here. Now that we're done with our 3, we're going to move on to our 1, okay? Now, is it just any ordinary 1? No, it isn't. It's actually 10 because it's in the tens place. So I'm going to go ahead and do 10 twice because we have 2 and 4, which is two numbers, okay? And I'm going to have my multiplication ready. So 10, because remember 1 is in the tens place, times 4, because 4 is in the ones place, all right? And then 10, right, times 20, because remember the 2 is in the tens place. All right. So if you are comfortable counting by tens, by all means, go for it. But I will tell you, it's a 0. Let's cross out the 0. Let's put the 0 here. And let's go ahead and do 1 times 4. And very important, and I hope you guys have been taking notes while you're watching this, I am lining up the numbers. So any number that is at the end, I'm making sure it's in the ones place. My second numbers line up in the tens place. And if I have a third number, I will make sure it's in that own column in the hundreds place if need be. But I'm just wanting you to understand that it's very important that we don't randomly just put numbers on the side. We're lining it up so that at the end, we're doing it right so that we can do our next step. So here I have 10 times 20, and like I said, I'm crossing out the 0. That's 1 0. I'm putting it here. I see another 0, so I'm crossing that out, and I'm putting it here. And now I'm left with 2 times 1, which equals 2, and that's better. And then now we can go ahead and I hope you said it first. Add. We can go ahead and add because remember multiplication, it's still repeated addition even if we're using partial product. So now I'm going to go ahead and add. Okay. All right. Have my add sign right here, nice and big. So then I can go 2 plus 0, 0, 0 is equal to 1 plus 6 equals 7 plus 4 equals 11. Good job. And then 1 will be put over or on top of the 2, and then we have 1 plus 2, which equals 3. And just like that, if you guys remember, that gave us 312 when we did standard algorithm. Nothing has changed. The answer is 312. Okay. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and do another round using partial product, but this time with 67 times 24. And remember, this was the same set of numbers that we used to multiply using standard algorithm. This time we're just using partial product, so we can kind of see how the answers are the same. So now I'm going to rewrite 67 times 24. Alrighty. And I'm going to go ahead and highlight the place value just as a remembrance for me. I recommend you to do that because it will help you to keep your numbers aligned and make sure you're writing the correct numbers when you're multiplying. So here we have 4 and 7, which are located in the ones place, and 2 and 6 are located in the sixth place. So now I'm going to go ahead and start off with the number 4, because remember we start on the right hand side, and I'm going to write it twice because we have two numbers up there, which is 6 and 7. All right. So first thing first, we're doing 4 times 7. Okay, so 4 times 7. And then we're doing 4 times 6. Okay, which really is 60. Remember, because that 6 is in the tens place. So I'm writing 60. Okay. And then now we can go ahead and multiply, okay, our answer. We could do 4 times 7, which will equal to 28. And I like to put it away so that we're lining it up when we're multiplying, so that at the end when we have to add, everything is in a correct, place. And then now I'm going to do 4 times 60. You know me, this is too big of a number. I'm going to move this 0 underneath the 8. And now I feel a bit more comfortable. I can multiply 4 times 6, which will give you 24. All right. So now I can move on to the next number, which is the number 2. But is it just 2? It's in that tens place. So what would it be? It would be 20. Correct. So we're going to put 20 twice because we're multiplying it by two numbers up top, which is 6 and 7. And I'm going to go ahead and put my multiplication sign. And we're doing 20 times 7. Okay. All right, because 7 is in a ones place. And then we're doing 20 times 60 because 6 is in a tens place. All right. And so now we can go ahead and multiply. 20 times 7, too big of a number. I'm going to cross out that 0 and flip it over to the other side. But now I can do 2 times 7, which is 14. That's much better. And then we have 20 times 60, which is 2 zeros. So look what I'm going to do. 1 0 goes over here. 1 0 goes over here. But then now I have 20 times 60, which is 12. Okay. And then that I can do. Okay. All right. So now I can go ahead and start adding. 8 plus 0, 0, 0 is 8. 2 plus 4 is 6. Plus 4 is 10. Put my 1 on top. 1 plus 2 is 3. 3 plus 1 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. And then I have my 1 here, which there's no numbers. And then I can go ahead and bring it down, which would give me 1,608, which is the same answer I got. Okay, and so I can write it down. All right, and so that's what you do for partial product. Let's go ahead and do another practice. I'm going to go ahead and write 45 times 12. Okay, so remember we start on our right hand side. So 2 times 5 is 10. I'm going to go ahead and put my 0 down. Remember we can't put two digits. And I'm going to go ahead and put plus 1. That reminds me that we are adding. Okay, and then 2 times 4 will be our next multiplication. And then it's 8. And then we're going to plus it by 1, which will give us 9. And I'm going to put 9 down here. Alrighty then. So now that we're moving on to 1, 1 is in the tens place value. So I always like to put that 0 down to remind me that as soon as I multiply 1 by a number, I am going immediately below the 9. So 1 times 5 is 5. And then my next set of numbers is 1 times 4, which will equal to 4. Alrighty then. So now we're ready to add. 0 plus 0 is 0. 9 plus 5 is 14. I'm going to put my 4 down and then put my 1 in front of, on top of the 4, I should say. And then 1 plus 4 equals 5. And then my final answer is 540. All right. So that's how you would do it if you were doing standard algorithm. So now let's see how it would be for partial product. Now with partial product, it's all about the place value. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite 45 times 12. Okay, remember 5 and 2 are in the ones place. 4 and 1 are in the tens place, okay? And so I'm going to start off to the right-hand side, and my number 2 is added, it's going to be multiplied by two numbers, so I'm going to write it down twice, so 2 and 2, and then it's going to be 2 times 5, and then 2 times 40, okay? And 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 40, remember I cross out my 0, put it over here, and then now it's left with 2 times 4, which equals 8, okay? And then now we have our next number, which is 1, but it's not just a 1, it's actually 10 because it's in the tens place. So I'm going to write it twice, 10 and 10. I'm going to multiply, so it's going to be 10 times 5 and 10 times 40. Okay, and so 10 times 5, remember if you don't know or familiar with counting by tens, it's okay. I'm just going to simply cross out that 0 and put it over here. And then now it's 10, it's 1 times 5, I should say, which is 5. And then I'm going to do the same where I cross out 1 0 and put it below, and then cross out another one and move it over here, which leaves me with 1 times 4. And then I can go ahead and add it. So 0, 0, 0 gives me 0. 1 plus 8 is 9. 9 plus 5 is 14. Put the 4 down and a 1 over the 4. 1 plus 4 is 5. And my final answer, which is the same answer I got when I did standard algorithm, is 540. Alrighty. Okay, so thank you for watching this video. Please feel free to subscribe and watch more of our videos. Keep in mind that we're constantly adding more languages, so if English was not enough, you want to see it in another language, please stay tuned. There you can look through our library and you can find more videos. And just keep in mind, math is difficult enough. Why not learn it in a language you feel comfortable in? And that's our goal when we're creating these videos. Hope you enjoy. Take care. See you next time.